Alrighty. Hey there, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey, hey, welcome.
Yes, welcome, welcome. So, are y'all ready for tonight, husbands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why you? I look. I should have got my mic. My mic had a little technical difficulty, so we're gonna have to talk a little bit louder. But
I hear you just fine.
you hear me just fine. I'm gonna put my piece in so I can do some feedback check. Yeah.
You're fine. Let's see. Let me put these alerts on. Let's see. All right. So, this is going to be Night Talks with Amber and Addie, and we have our husbands as our special guests.
Yes.
Hi, husbands.
Hi, wives.
Ah, I'm
Um,
so excited.
And Addie, what would you say this space is for?
Um, I say this space is for us to have honest conversations about life, love, and everything in between.
Okay, okay. So I guess we'll do a quick intro of both couples. Just we're going to say how long we've been married, uh, what state we currently live in, and a fun fact about our spouse. How about that? Is that a good icebreaker?
I think that'll work. You cool with that?
I guess. Hey,
He's
bro, we
like,
ain't
I
gonna
don't
overthink
know
it.
about that. That's
Oh, okay, so
so yeah.
you want us to go first?
Yes.
Okay, so I am Amber, and this is
Damon.
I have you
Yes, who?
your nickname
Oh, D Trouble.
or just D.
Okay, D. Either way. Either way. Pick one.
Are you
We've been married for we just hit what 5 years?
Was it five?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
We got
Five
married in
5 years.
2020, March of 2020.
Okay, so five.
Yes, it's been five already. Don't seem like.
Where does the time go?
Um, we are currently located in Texas, but from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And a fun fact about my husband is that, believe it or not, people don't know he's an undercover nerd.
Okay, I will give you that to a degree. I really will. Uh, of course, my name is D. She already said all that extra stuff, so I'm just gonna get to the fun fact. Fun fact is
oh,
she is
okay.
really humble, but she appears to be mean at times. That's a fun fact. She's very humble.
Okay.
There you go.
All
Oh,
right.
so
Y'all
why
turn.
you got to wait a minute though. As we're not going to address the fact that you sitting there with that Ricky Lake microphone, like we
I
just
know, right? Biggest mouth ever.
like,
My
hold
other mic, I couldn't get the other mics to plug up because the adapters don't work with all my plugins.
Man,
oh my gosh. Okay, I feel very underprepared.
you.
Okay, okay. So I am Addie, um, and this is my wonderful husband, Mr. Jackson. That's his that's what he's going with. You know, we are the Jacksons. We have been married for I forgot. Let's see.
Woo. One,
We've
two,
been together
three,
for 17 years.
Hold this.
We've been married for 15 years. So long time in married world. So as most married couples do, we just merge it all together. So when people ask 17 years. So
Right.
um fun fact about my spouse. Hmm.
Three. Three. Go.
Um besides the fact that he put up with me, like, is that not enough? You know,
Seems
he
fun.
actually, he's very reserved. I am very chatty cat, and he is a man of few words. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that for the time being. So y'all will get a little bit more as we go through this, honey.
Okay.
Yeah, all of that. What she said. Uh, 17 together. Fun facts.
Do, 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 do,
You had to
do.
get back to me on that. I can't think of it right now.
He don't want to say nothing that's gonna get him in trouble. So he's a
Hey,
wise man.
Hey, look, let's say this is a safe space. This is what we said in the beginning. Nothing in here could. Let's make a pact right now. Anything that we say here, we know it's safe. We're not going to do anything to embarrass one another, nor can we say anything, and the other person should take it to be something to make you mad. It should just, this is all in fun, and we're just having conversation. That's all it is.
And that we are.
Cool.
okay. You want to introduce yourself?
If y'all can see Ree's face right now, she looked like,
Forget
nope.
about
You
me,
want to
boo.
introduce yourself? Come on, say hi.
Here she comes too. She actually came. Say hi, Ree.
Ray, say hi.
Riri.
There you go.
Hey,
You happy?
baby.
You
She
happy?
said hi.
All right, you can come back over here and get your bone.
Nah, she's like, no, I'm here now.
You here? Okay. Well, this is the other part of us. So
Yes, this is the other part of the
And
red.
not to
I'm
mention, you
sorry.
on
She
your birth
asked me.
certificate.
Come on.
Okay, so we're gonna get into our segments here. We how does this-
Okay, back up there.
so we have a couple of topics we're gonna talk about tonight. Um, First one is gonna be first impression and realizations, and uh, what I would say the what was your actual first impression of me?
Hmm. My first impression of
You
you.
can kind of like for a little bit.
Okay, my first impression of you was beautiful.
Okay.
You had a wonderful smile. Always seemed cheerful, and you was just happy. When that was my first impression. You just seemed really happy for
Okay.
no reason at all, just happy. And that is truly contagious.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
that was my first impression.
Okay.
See, you showing all your teeth right now. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like nobody shows everything. You was showing me everything. So that's why I was like, okay, she seems truly, truly happy. Or at least that smile covers up a lot.
Okay. I would say my first impression of you was goofy and funny. Like they kind of were together because you always were trying to make people laugh. You were always doing and saying something silly, and it was just like I like that when someone can just be unapologetically themselves and don't care who's around, could just and to this day you do things to embarrass me in public and I love you for it even though yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a Dave Chappelle salute on that.
That stuff right there. That stuff right there. You kind of cut off on the camera a little bit.
You got to be able to laugh with your spouse,
You,
though.
you definitely do. I'll do this back some.
Oh, okay. So you want to go first?
Lady first.
Hmm.
Ladies first. That's right. You heard the man.
So honestly, my first impression of him. So real quick, uh, we met at a automotive repair school. I was going there in the daytime and working there at night. And yeah, so you can imagine the vibe of that. Um, and so when I saw him, it it was only like maybe three females in the entire school. Not a lot of women work on cars. So I was looking every time I was seeing him, he had his hat, and even if he didn't have one on, most of the time he did, he would tip his hat to me. I was like, ooh, he ain't trying to holler at me like all the rest of them. He's older and sophisticated. That piqued my interest, and so I really zoned in to how mature he was, and he was different. Yeah, that's cliche but true, very true. So yeah, that was my first impression. Yeah.
Okay. Can you turn that down some?
Once
Mr.
again,
Jackson.
the ATI, the school, uh, it was her smile that got me. Uh,
Oh.
hey, I can that smile, it lights up a room. So
Oh, ting.
that's what got me, and that's what kept me around for umpteen years.
Wow.
Nice. I love it. Beautiful.
Craziness.
So the next one is this is gonna you guys are gonna start off this answer first. When did you know it was real?
My body hurt.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
So
that's one.
yeah, I'm gonna elaborate on that a little
Yes,
bit.
please, because that could go so many ways.
I'm gonna sit
Okay.
back.
All right. So what had happened was uh he we had been talking for a little bit, just kind of casually, nothing like you my boyfriend, you my girlfriend type of thing. Um I think what made it real before I knew I was in love with him was the fact that one particular evening while we were at school, um, there was a tragic wreck in front of our school.
Real bad.
And unfortunately somebody passed away. It was really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally right there. And so like I said, I worked there at night and he went to school there at night, and so I was out there because it's my job, and I'm working on cars and things like that. So it hit so close to the school, everybody kind of went in a panic. I didn't really know it was real for us until I heard him tell one of the other guys, take my baby on the inside, she don't need to see this. And
Oh.
in the midst of it, I'm panicked because, I'm concerned about the people that's in the wreck. But the other person in my head was like, girl, did you just hear what he said? He called you baby to other people. And so it was like, again, I was trying to concentrate on both, but when you have multiple conversations, it's like, ooh. So for me, I in the midst of everything that was going on, I caught on to that. I passively heard that, and my heart kind of skipped a beat, like, whoa, like, it's real talk when somebody is really concerned with your safety, to that
Mhm.
extent. I heard the concern in his voice. So um yeah, and then when I mentioned earlier when my because my body hurt is because we was talking on the phone a lot, and he went on his first out of town trip for work, and I was like jonesing, like I hadn't talked to him, he didn't have no signal. This was years ago. They didn't have T-Mobile Top 5 and all of that. You know what I mean? You left the local area, you lost your signal. So I had went like a couple of days without talking to him, baby. You would think I was on drugs. I was just like having shakes and whatnot. But I think it was just because I had grown, I had an emotional attachment to him at that point, and your mind goes all over the place. But that's what I meant when I said my body hurt. So yeah,
Okay. What
it
great way
was
to
all PG. Yeah,
great way to cover or I'm sorry, great way to clear that up.
Yes.
right,
'Cause-
right.
yeah.
Just saying that ain't the first thing you. What was about him that made you know he was the one? My body hurt. Even if you would have, like you just saying that kind of froze everybody that's watching and
Like
everybody that's in the room right now. Because me, I know for a fact, I was like, wait a minute, that please elaborate, because this is too good to be true. There's so many jokes.
what?
What about you, Mr. Jackson?
Uh,
Facts. Damn.
Not saying nothing against getting your education, but I didn't. I started going for her. I didn't give a damn about school no more.
Oh shit!
And if I got there off the bus, the
My
key
God.
wasn't there. Then I got back on the bus and I took my ass back home.
That's crazy. Like,
It's true. But
all
hey,
these years later, because
all
it's
of you
like,
kids that's watching, get your education, okay?
oh my gosh. Listen,
Oh
that's
man.
new for me because it's like, wait, and my silly self supposed to be working, and here I am. I know what bus schedule and everything. You know, we didn't have cars like that. We was riding the bus, okay? And I be sitting there waiting on the bus, like, wait, I know this the same one he could. So now I know, he probably thought I wasn't there. Like the
I was
days,
only coming there for you.
yeah, he thought I wasn't there. He do a little quick scan up. She ain't here. Let me go. So
I ain't feel
Yeah,
wow.
like coming here
I just
today,
skipped
boy.
class a few days, few nights, because I mean,
You say, look, if she ain't working, I ain't coming.
yeah, then I must not be on the schedule.
What?
If she ain't on the schedule, I ain't on the schedule. I'm
I
sorry.
cannot. I can't. I
That's
can't.
funny. I
Oh
would
man.
say for me, I knew it was real. Mm, when I started truck driving, and he drove all the way from Florida to Missouri. He was living in his apartment, and he came to see me take my test and just be my support system. And that's when I knew that okay, yeah, this is real because don't nobody drive no 12 hours
Fact.
for and
A
I didn't
lot of
even like right. We couldn't stay in the same room because I still was in school, so I had to sleep in a different room. And yeah, it was interesting just to have him. And he drove overnight, and it wasn't like he stayed. He drove up on a Friday because he was still in the military. He drove up on a Friday and left on a Sunday so he could be back to work. I mean, an early Sunday too because he had to go to work that Sunday night. So that's how I know it was real for me because I was
Oh
like,
man.
"And no way, nobody's gonna do that. No, nobody's gonna do that." So,
Uh
fact.
mm,
it was real when or I knew it was real when it was a it was a time when I was trying to basically I was struggling. So trying to get back up on my feet. And no joke. I know I had friends and family that would have did the same thing. But she called and we're having a conversation. What did you eat today? How was your day? And I told her I was like, well, I really ain't ate nothing. I didn't really have anything in my refrigerator. She was like, okay. Hung up. About 30 minutes later, she called back and said, hey, by the way, groceries will be there in 15 minutes. Make sure you're at home and open the door. Didn't ask, didn't question, just wow. Okay. If she's willing to feed me, she can definitely love me. So that's when it was.
I mean, that's true because she ain't sharing her zuzus and wham whams with everybody.
I didn't think she was sharing her zuzus and wham whams with everybody, but the fact that she shared her zuzus and wham whams with me and put food in my refrigerator, hey,
Fact.
you got me
Fact.
there.
yeah. So, all right. So the next talk segment too. Silly. Uh, do y'all know y'all's love languages? Have y'all ever done that to see y'all's love languages?
Mm, interesting.
Um, not
No.
officially, but we've kind of adapted to a specific kind of love language for us. But yeah, so it's a mixture.
Mhm.
Okay.
So my love language is affirmations and touch. Um, Depending on what kind of mood he is in, like my perception, he could tell you. Matter of fact, what's your love language?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Yeah, sit up.
I would say touch.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say touch.
yeah,
Most men, yeah, most men are physical
Most
touch.
men are,
yeah.
and
But
the, no.
if I get on his nerves, it's leave me alone. That's his love language. Don't go that way.
I
Look,
mean, that's not really in the five love languages, but
Not even close to one.
that's that's the seasoned love language. When you've been married for a while,
17
Oh,
years.
that's the
17 years.
you
M.
develop your
I
That,
get
own.
what you're saying. I get
that's
what you're
that
saying.
M6 language.
Yeah,
Married six.
yeah. Not to
I get.
mention, we tend to do that kind of stuff. Like we would come up with our own like little thing. You
Yeah,
know,
everybody. Yeah, and everybody does. I
It's
know.
referred to as G14 classified.
in that order.
Could you
In that order. Bow wow. That's what I'm talking about.
He's so silly. So we had to do our love languages because when we were getting married in Florida, they make you go through a marriage course. Marriage, what's it called? I forget what it's called,
Like
but they,
premarital.
Marriage counseling.
yeah, marriage counseling, premarital counseling, and one of the things that we could do either this book or attend an actual course for like 6 hours. So we said we'll do the book. So it was a five love languages by Gary Chapman, and it was like a purple book, and it takes you through all the exercises. And at the end of the book, you're supposed to take a test for yourself, and then you take a test for your significant other, and then you compare.
Mhm.
And so my love language is I can't even. You were good at remembering them. I can't remember. I know what was it? One was gifts,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
receiving gifts, and the other one was quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Quality time. See, I can't remember, but I do know those things, and I we learned in that it's not necessarily like I like to receive gifts, but he might not. He doesn't really do the gift thing, so I can't love him in my language. I have to love him in his language because it's like then it's like two people speaking separate languages. You know, it's like I'm speaking French and he's speaking Spanish, and we're not
Right.
understanding each
But
other.
that happens with a lot of couples. They end up, trying to give
Yeah,
spouse what they want their spouse to give them. And it don't always
yeah,
end up in
yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah.
The best way I can explain it would be,
What's your
and mine is, of course, physical touch and words of affirmation. 90% of men love language is physical touch because after a certain point in your life, once you hit to a certain age, you don't get affection like you used to. It becomes like, ugh, get off me type stuff. But you can't get that same affection. So when you get older or get to a certain age, you crave what you couldn't get for the rest of your life. So physical touch is always going to be something that a man wants.
I can see that.
Um, words of affirmation, just saying thank you, just anything positive will make your day, man. It's almost like somebody that don't know you can compliment you and you think that's the best thing in the world. It's just something in you that feels better about yourself because somebody actually took the time to
Yeah.
notice.
Okay.
So as far as the love languages with hers, it's different because like she said, we can't love each other in the language that we have. So I know physical touch isn't hers. So she doesn't like me being touchy feely. But I know there's gift giving and quality time. So if I use quality time to maybe get a hug, then I'm fulfilling my love language and hers.
and I'm reciprocated of that is like I try to like he loves to give me candy and teas from the store. When he goes to the store, he'll just bring me back a sweet tea and some candy, and that's a gift. And some people are like that ain't no gift. I'm like, yeah, it is because he bought it. He took his time out and thought about me while he was at the store, and he didn't have to do that. So I reciprocate with the physical touch aspect on you know hugging him, kissing him, rubbing on his head, whatever. Just like any type of way to just connect on that level. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So that and I think once you learn your partner's love language, it makes it a little bit easier to connect with them on that level. Because like especially with I have to get better with words of affirmation for sure. I try to remind him that I appreciate him, but I feel like actions speak louder than words. So I try to put some action behind the words. I'd say, I appreciate you. Let me show you that I appreciate you. Let me go above and beyond to show you that I appreciate everything that you do for us as a family and as a husband and as a protector and provider, so that he feels appreciated. Because I know for him sometimes he feels like he's not appreciated, not necessarily from me. He just overall in life, that's what he's
I mean,
felt, and
honestly,
I try
that's
to.
what society as a whole puts more emphasis on the woman than the man anyway. And so it doesn't,
Hmm.
that is an inherent feeling that is given by the outside environment. And so it's important to kind of try to maintain that balance on the inside of the household, because you fighting against social media couples and they ain't real, y'all. I'm just saying. A lot of them ain't real. Sorry to bust y'all bubble, because they've been punching each other lights out and snatching wigs off before they hit that live button. I'm just gonna say the thing. We talk real
So
life, real love, real conversations, right? It's
yeah,
important to affirm your spouse, and I think we probably need to delve a
Amen.
little bit more into that, because I think we've
yes,
talked about a lot of couples going wrong in that area. Like there are certain ground rules that
let's turn
you
it on
kind of have
camera.
to adhere to have a successful marriage, and have can you okay,
Right.
and having a
Yeah.
successful marriage doesn't mean that you have to be visible all the time. People think that there are certain things like, oh, if I post my spouse on social media, or if I show what they're doing for me, that my marriage is successful. No, a lot of times it's counterintuitive, and you end up doing the opposite, and you end up alienating your spouse. So, it's important to keep that line of communication open and let your spouse know how important they are. It's very much important for you to do it privately than just doing it publicly all the time. Because if you ain't affirming your spouse in private, and then you get online or you make a, it's gonna show.
You're right.
It's gonna
It
show.
will. It definitely will. It definitely will. Uh, I would definitely say I know over time love languages change too.
Yeah,
As I'm getting older now, I would say buying gifts isn't so much. I mean, who doesn't want to feel spoiled and whatnot? But I would say that's no longer my top one. I want to say my quality time is kind of, I enjoy wanting to do stuff with him. I enjoy, like, he gets mad. I don't want to go to the store with you. Like, come on, please. I just want you to go with me. I just want you to go. Like, come on. That's all I'm asking is to go. Well, I ain't getting out the car then. Okay, at least it's a compromise, like, you can go sit in the car. I'll just run inside, but sometimes I just want him with me. He doesn't understand, like, that's a quality time for me. A lot of people are like, no, quality time is when you're giving your
undivided attention.
Undivided
yeah,
attention.
and yes, that is technically the definition, but quality time for me is anytime he's with me. And
Yeah,
because he could be doing stuff by himself. He could be asleep, he could be playing his game, he could be watching TV, he could be playing with the dog, because I gotta split my quality time with her, because she's very demanding. And um like right now, he's here with me presently, but he's rubbing on her. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So,
That if we clip this, by the way, for the people in the back, it ain't no other woman. They ain't got like no pornography. They ain't got none of that. Okay, that's the other woman.
yes, this is the other woman. If you don't know us, that this is our
For
other woman.
clarity. Okay,
Riri,
just
what's going on?
imagine
Look,
people
Riri,
popping in like,
it's your other husband right there. It's your boyfriend over there,
Riri.
Riri, what's
Riri.
up?
She heard his voice, like, where he at?
Yeah, she looking around.
Stay. Nope.
But
Okay. You can go ahead.
so I would say definitely, I know my love language has changed as far as quality time and everything like that. Has any of y'all's love languages changed over the years?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I and there's a lot of guilt with that too, for on my part, because I've endured some very trying times, when it comes to my health over the years, and so that definitely plays a part and kind of shift things a little bit. I think for me, I've never been a person that is like super materialistic. Like I like nice things, don't get me wrong, but my mindset is I will if I want something nice, I will buy something nice. I don't expect you to buy it for me. And
Right.
so
Mm,
everybody that know me know I'm a tech geek. Like I love tech. I ain't really into jewelry like that, but it's
yep.
okay. It's cool.
I'm the
It's cool.
same way. I'm the same way. I'm like you. I like the new Best Buy. Don't take me into Best Buy.
Yeah, give me a gadget. Like
Thank you.
I don't need no bracelet. Go give me a gadget.
I know
Give
I
me
don't need no new shoes or a purse. Just
yeah. But honestly, I will be honest and say that he's done things that I wasn't necessarily used to. And then after a while, there at first it was a little bit of resistance, like when he would buy me stuff or give me flowers, because I was never like a flower girl, like a girly flower girl. Like that was never my thing. But then when he started doing those things, I was like, okay, I can get used to this. Okay. Um, but I noticed with the both of us as we get older, we are more touchy feely. Like we get in our feelings if we had no like. It's like we got to connect our Bluetooth and touch each other. Even if it's in the middle of the night and one of us is snoring and we doing this get up. It's still connection. And so for me, it has been able. We've been having to shift sometimes from the physical part to more of mental. So affirmations. Kind of coddling the emotions, if you will, you know.
hmm
And so that's been my viewpoint. What about you, sir?
Has things changed over time? Yes. Uh, um, so I wasn't never the one to, you know how you said, I just want him to go to the store with me. I wasn't never. You go ahead. I'll stay right here. But now, depending on where she go, I have to go with her because I have to. She'll lose it. If she gets in the Best Buy, them type of places. I have to. Hey, hold on, slow down. Home Depot, like let's get what you came in here for, and let's come on. Let's go and get on out of here. Because if not, she'd be in there for 8 hours.
and he's not exaggerating. He had to come find me in Home Depot one time because the smell of wood and all of that just got me like I that did not sound right, did
No,
it?
I was about to say.
Um,
We
but like
are referring to the actual wood in
like
Home
actual
Depot, ladies and gentlemen.
lumber, yeah,
Home Depot, where they sell
yes.
a whole bunch
The
of
home,
supplies
yes,
to fix
home
your
improvement
home.
store. And here's the thing, like I like tools, like I said, I've worked on cars. I love to work with my hands and do like mechanical stuff. So for me, he's not lying. I get hyper fixated and I'll be at Home Depot for some hours or the tech store for some hours.
So instead of
So
flowers, it should be like a box of tools.
yeah, exactly. Give me a couple of wrenches and some ratchets. Yeah, give me yes. Yes. Am I lying?
No, she's that's 100% real.
No, I yes. I
But but I'm not buying no damn tools for her. I'm buying flowers. I'm buying clothes. I'm buying jewelry.
So so check this out. I made the mistake and didn't realize that she doesn't like flowers. Alive flowers, that is. I
oh,
absolutely don't like them. So I made the mistake doing something nice, even if it's Valentine's Day. Okay. Flowers has always like they put it out there to sell flowers. So you think you get somebody some flowers, okay, appreciative. I gave her the
mhm.
flowers. The reaction was thank you,
Oh, it's
and
cool.
that was it. So, okay, maybe it was just the wrong reaction. So another time I decided, you know what? I'm gonna get her some flowers. I bought her some flowers. This time she had already figured it out. She was like, you know what? Thank you, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't like flowers. Get me the fake plastic ones. They last longer.
Ooh,
Okay. So I don't buy flowers unless they're fake
Mm.
or plastic.
And they multi-purpose. You can dust with them. You can swat flies. You can beat somebody with like they. You can do more than
I
one
just
thing
But
than
that
just
is my
sitting
funny
someone
flower
and with them.
story. So I don't buy flowers.
yeah, I don't know where I guess it stems something from my mom. She used to cry when her flowers would die.
Mm.
So I never wanted to feel like that because if she got flowers, she would get sad when they died. So I'm like, and plus I did realize, as you become an adult, you realize, at least me, like, okay, I'm paying money for flowers that aren't going to be around for maybe but a week or two, and they're going to attract bugs. I don't think so. I'm good. I'm like taking care. There's something else I got to take care of. No, I'm good. But
It
I
might
like
be bugs on some of you mugs, but it ain't no bugs on me.
right. But I do like edible arrangements or something like fruit because
Yeah,
that it looks like flowers, but I can eat that. That's something that like I'm
I,
gonna
that's
I
facts.
I could definitely do that. But yeah, so he had to learn that a little. I'm not like because I told him I'm not like the girly girl. Like I don't really do the jewelry. Like he always talks about this necklace and was it the
Hmm.
necklace and a earring set that, and he
Mm-hmm.
got it when I was trucking, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, why don't you ever wear the necklace I got you? Or I'm like, when have you known me to wear a necklace unless it's a special occasion? When have you known me? He's like, you don't even wear it at work, babe. I'm a truck driver. I don't want to get robbed. Like, no, what? No,
I,
no,
can you
no.
imagine that stopping in at the truck store? That's a mighty nice necklace you got there on there, young lady. Run that.
Exactly, exactly. That brings too much
See,
of
did it
attention.
hurt your feelings though? Like
Oh,
real talk.
it did.
Did it hurt your feelings? Like a
It
little
did.
bit?
It
Ain't no
did.
little bit.
It
Ain't
did.
no
A
little bit
lot.
because I bought the necklace as an anniversary gift.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's why. But at the same token, it hurt, but I understood why. But I was always in the back of my mind, you ain't gotta show it, just wear it. Ain't nobody gonna know what it is. Cover it up. You ain't got it's the fact that I bought it for
You
you.
know
I
coming.
want you to have it. You ain't gotta show nobody that you got it.
He was right, but then at the same time, in my mindset, I'm thinking like, oh, what if it gets snagged? As I'm trying to unhook a trailer. Sometimes I have to get under trailers to do a quick inspection or hop in and out of the back of trailers. I'm sweeping the back of the trailer, and the thing gets like I'm sitting here thinking. Oh, he always says I go to worst case scenario, but I'm like,
Well, how did y'all work through that? Because I mean, that really could have been a thing. Like,
I
a
took it
small
with
thing
me.
turns
I,
into a
I,
big
I
thing.
I kept it with me for a little while, and then I realized when I started team driving and training and having people in my truck that I didn't know like that. I took it back home because I'm like, I don't want this to come up missing. But it was, I value like I didn't want something of value like that to possibly come up broken, lost, misplaced, something like that. So
Well, my reaction to that is how can you want electronics knowing the exact same thing can happen versus actual jewelry, which is still possible to
because
happen?
all my electronics were on my cell phone plan and they could be replaced.
You don't think a necklace can be replaced?
I mean, unless you have it insured. But I get what you're saying. But I mean, also too in my electronics store, I was always carrying those with me. It was my phone or my iPad. I always kept that with me, and I didn't take it out of the truck. But if I'm like sitting in the back, I have it with me, or
Okay,
I will put
okay.
it somewhere.
So let's play devil's advocate right now.
You already
If
are.
somebody was going to rob you, are they going to take your phone or a necklace that they can't see?
I get. I said I get what you're saying, but I'm
Hey,
saying
my ADHD says if they steal my phone, I can get an upgraded one.
there you go. Thank you. But no, I also too. I'm thinking of. I don't walk in the store with my iPad. Sometimes I didn't even walk in it with my phone. But if I have that necklace on, you can still see the imprint of the thing. And there's been times when truck drivers have been held up for their wallets and all that stuff. And as a safety thing, as a female,
I understand completely.
that's what I'm talking about being robbed. I'm not talking about them breaking in the truck. I was
I
never my
mean,
concern.
I
It was me
understand all of that
walking. It was
completely.
me walking into a truck stop. That's
Mhm.
bringing unwanted attention as to why I didn't wear shorts and
Mm.
like
Well, and Mr. Jackson, maybe if you understand where I'm coming from on this one, you can help me out real quick.
Yes, sir.
But if I was looking to rob you After I take your jewelry, I'm going to take the cell phone so you can't call nobody. So either way, you lost everything.
Okay, but like I said, the cell phone's covered under the insurance plan on the phone. That's replaceable. The necklace might not be if that's something that's if it's not insured and it's something you paid out of pocket with. Like
You think I'm gonna buy you something that ain't insured?
yes, you had insurance on that necklace.
Yes, I did. On every piece of jewelry you
Well,
have.
you never told me that.
Oh,
So
you got some coins. Wait a minute. You gonna get your sister something? Come on now. You got insurance? Is that through Allstate? I'm just like,
I had the necklace insured before I bought it for her because it was an anniversary gift. It matches her wedding ring, both of them,
girl.
both of them.
Okay.
both of your bands.
Bands
See,
on that.
but I understand why. It was just it did bother me for a while though. Being honest, it did. But
So I
the
got a quick
more I
question.
started to realize it's just a necklace. I mean, as long as she keeps it, we're fine.
What was your
So you
question?
were able to kind of adapt to the
Yeah,
reality why she wasn't wearing it.
yeah. I mean, I knew the reason, but it still hurts that somebody doesn't utilize what you give them. If it's coming from a wonderful place, then as a real gift, that's just like somebody giving you a cell phone. You're gonna value it. So regardless of what it is, I understood that she valued it. It was just at that moment she felt like it would be more of a problem if she wore it than
Right.
just having it. So
I valued it too much to take a chance on something happened to it.
and I that's the reason why I said I understand. It hurt that you didn't wear it, but it I still understand.
But I will say I did realize I could have wore it when we went out and did things together and special occasions, and I didn't. I do apologize for that. So when we go to our storage, I'll get it out of storage and make sure I wear it.
Do you feel like that? When I don't wear the stuff you buy me?
I used to. I used to. But over time, the fact that I thought about you and I got you something, whether it was a special occasion or not, once I give it to you, you are however you want to. But that should go both ways though.
Mm.
Because if you buy me something
Mm-hmm.
and I don't necessarily like it, should I have to wear it anyway because you bought it for me?
Ooh, we had.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
that's a tricky one because we've had that scenario. Like I was excited, and he was like, "I was like, why you don't wear that watch that I bought you?" And he was like, "I don't really like it." Oh, why would you go tell me that? I could have got my money back. Like, why you ain't say nothing?
Because
You bought it.
you
Exactly.
bought it for me.
That
And
would have probably worked
and
well when we first got together. But now that we've been together for a while, we ain't got no money to waste. I could have took it back and said, "Hey, John, you don't like that. Let's get something else. Get him a gift card or give you the money."
well, I know that now, and for future reference, I, I'll keep that in mind.
Please do. Please.
So at what point did you guys realize like y'all had that understanding? Like at what year of y'all marriage did it really sink in like you know what? This is what it is. You know what I mean? She ain't going nowhere, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna try my best to make sure we straight. Like when did that sink in? Like y'all was truly partners.
So hold on, we got a little technical difficulty. Can you hear that popping noise? It's like our
No.
computer got gas or something. I don't know what that noise is. It's driving me insane. I'm like, what is that? Okay. As long as y'all can hear it, it's cool. Um, yeah,
Your computer
it's
Putin.
over here like firing off. Like it's done now. It got it out. I had to mute for a second, you know. We got cute. We didn't want our neighbors to be like, wait, what's going on? But I'm sorry. Uh I think ooh, probably for me, I would say like year 10. You know what I mean? Like it was really something that it is not, in my opinion, a cliche when people say you go through a honeymoon phase in your marriage. Now, I'm not going to speak about relationships because that's a whole nother bag. But when it comes to married folks, your honeymoon phase lasts a few years. And what I mean by that, you're bumping your head trying to figure out what works for you and your spouse. And you're also trying to take advice from other people and figure each other out. And sometimes those things conflict because it's not a one size fits all. And I know for us, we was petty real early. Like, we had some issues. The check engine light was on. You
Mm.
understand? The lifter
Mhm.
was tapping for all y'all car enthusiasts out there. Um, there was probably some times where we felt like we were gonna like throw in the towel, but we just God got us through it. A lot of prayer and a lot of talking and a lot of silent treatment. I was bad about the silent treatment, but I don't know, like, what do you think really kind of like made us like calm down?
Um, to be honest with you, me, my coming up, I saw my mom and dad argue, fight all the damn time. And then once the marriage was here and our first child was here, we kind of started going down the same path, but for stupid shit. And I didn't want to follow in their footsteps. So
Don't get me wrong, we got to baby number two, and it was still petty,
yeah,
but it was organized petty.
yeah,
Ain't that something?
It was not like, y'all, we got
So
to get
instead of
everything.
being chaos, it was just organized chaos.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so to speak. And I think like if we was like to sit back and really look at it overall, we always had these unspoken fundamentals as far as our relationship. Like, and I think that's probably what kept us from going on the deep end of things. Like we never called each other out of our names. We always maintained some level of respect, even when it was getting disrespectful. We just never hit below the belt. Um, and we learned early on to keep people out of our business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Keep
That's
people out of your business.
Yeah.
If they don't live in your house, then they shouldn't have nothing to say about what goes on in your
Like they
house.
don't need to know the ins and out of your every time you have a disagreement, because that is something that's going to happen. If somebody is telling you, giving you relationship advice, and they tell you, "Oh, you're not gonna argue," they lying. They lying, and they probably ain't gonna be together very long, because having disagreements is a healthy part of your relationship. It allows you to grow as a couple and individually. So you need to be able to handle adversity in your relationship without being as toxic as you're used to from your surrounding, if that makes any sense. But I think that what really did it for me is I hurt his feelings really bad one time. And that whole process was rooted in my upbringing. I didn't have a lot of men in my family, like, strong relationships. I didn't get that father figure type of thing going on in my life where I had direction and I had, my father guiding me. And so I didn't know how to handle him. So I handled him wrong quite a few times. And this particular time, it was evident that I hurt his feelings. And I realized that, he's the person just like I am. I wouldn't want him to treat me like that. So why you just being loose lipped and sinking ships? You know, like,
right.
um, I had to calm down a little bit because I didn't want to lose my man. So bring it back,
Okay,
Bring
okay.
it back. Bring it
all
back.
the way.
Okay,
Oh
but
no.
now we're gonna
Oh
transition
no.
into another part.
Oh no, no, no,
What is
no.
I would say what is a lighthearted pet peeve? Since we're kind of talking about we're gonna keep this lighthearted. So Nothing that you feel could be jabbing at you, but one that they know.
Irritate the hell out of you.
Are we going first or y'all going first? Because y'all can go first.
I know mine is.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I don't. I got to think about mine. So you go ahead.
Why? Why
Cause
you got to think about it, huh?
I
What's
got.
a irritating thing that I
That's the
do?
younger couple.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. It's something that's a pet peeve, something that I do that you don't like, that irritates the hell out of you.
Everything.
I do. I probably do this every day, every day.
I don't know. I guess when you try to be funny and on purpose, and it's not funny because he be trying, and I'm like, it's obvious when you trying. That irks me because it's not natural. You naturally funny. Stop trying. Just do it. Just stop. Just stop
She low key
trying. It
called him
will come
corny though.
natural.
Like I said,
Huh?
you low key called him corny. Like, dude,
When he do that, he do come off
back.
corny, and he knows I tell him that. I'm like, stop. Stop! You're doing the most. And that's why he laughing because he knows I tell him that all the time. I'm like, stop. You're not being natural, so it's coming off.
Oh my goodness!
It's not coming off funny. It's coming off annoying.
I knew this. I swear I knew this. That's why it's funny.
I know. Now your
Wait a
turn.
minute.
Oh man. Uh, something that you do that irritates me. Hmm. I don't know. Other than, damn, I gotta think about it.
See,
No, I gotta think about it. But I was egging you on because I already knew where you was going. Like I already knew what you was gonna say. I really did. I do this
Why you got?
because I do. Because I do. On your face. No, I'm just playing.
Oh, that's
Uh,
funny.
let's see. I don't know. I'm pondering that one right now. What is something that you do that I got it. I got it.
Bring it.
So it bothers me, but I know the reason why she does it is videotape everything. 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 Like, and that is,
Everything.
I'm used to it. Everything.
Now I've calmed down a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's something that oh, we're about to eat. Oh, if you don't put the phone down. But I know why. I'm just saying, but
She gotta get that footage.
that's
She gotta get the footage.
I and that's the reason why. But I know why.
But
That's what I'm saying. It still bothers me, but I know why. It's like, oh,
That's like Bernie Mac. Like, come on, America. I'm trying to eat. Come on, come back. I'm busy.
I mean, yeah. So that's mine. I know why. I know all of this, but it if we're about to eat, let me enjoy the food. You ain't gotta record it right now. Like,
yeah, I
look, I'm
can't
gonna go.
record it after.
Well, if that's the case, you can say, look, this is what they served us, and be done. And when the plate,
Yeah,
okay,
I
but
do that. I don't do the whole time. I might record when we first sitting down, maybe a few minutes of us interacting, and then us getting our food, get some video of our food, and maybe taking a couple bites, and I turn it off, and pretty much be done. I've learned to read your social cues,
whoa, my social cues.
Yeah.
meaning like your facial expressions when you irritated, but you don't want to tell me when you not feeling it.
Woo, we about to delve into that body language. That's
Yeah,
another communication.
First off, I don't make facial expressions, especially when I can't control my face.
he just said he don't make facial expressions.
Okay, look, for the people in the back, just let's do a little recap real quick, okay? So D and I served in the Air Force together. We met each other like over 25 years ago. We look good for our age, but okay. So our spouses just met each other and they just met us. Like, I just met Amber after they got married and he met my husband. But this fool, like, yeah. He talk with his face just like I do, and we done got in plenty of trouble for that. So the fact that you gonna sit there and tell your wife that you don't talk with your face,
I okay.
we need to walk around with one of them little things you put over your face, like to mask.
No, the hell you don't. No, the hell you don't.
You know, like, because he be getting on me about the same thing. Like, can you fix your face? Like, how am I fix my face? Like, what am I supposed to do? It got a mind of its own.
Like, ain't like I can see it.
Huh?
Look, ain't like I can see it.
Like, look
What
at
it look
your
like?
face. Like,
Tell me.
you know,
Okay.
uh, ooh.
But anyways, y'all turn. So what is the soft pet peeve?
I think for me, one of my biggest pet peeves is when he drinking, he repeat himself, and um, he be like, "Did you hear me? Yes. Did you hear me? Yes. I heard you." So for I that drives me crazy because he'll repeat it like I didn't hear it the first time, and then the second time he repeats it, it got a little attitude in there. Yeah,
Attitude.
and I just be like, who he talking to? Like at the third time he said, I'm like, you didn't nod enough. Like that's when I started checking to see if my face is matching up with what I'm thinking, because apparently not. But I would say that's a pet peeve I'm willing to bring up.
Like I said, we saying the soft pet peeve. We don't want nobody to get it.
That's a
Have
soft one. That's not a hard one.
okay, okay.
You got a whole bunch
All
of
right,
pet
Mr.
peeves for me, huh?
Jackson.
Um, One in particular. Um, as you have been told, she's a tech girl, so she has all of this grandiose stuff that she likes to buy, and she buys these things, and it takes her forever to use them. She got brand new shit in this room right now that she bought 6 months ago. I ain't touched it yet.
Okay.
I know exactly what he's talking about too. I can say the
Okay.
two, probably two of the things:
Okay. So we should do a PSA.
computer and that 3D printer.
Let's do a P. Oh, you're gonna put me on blast. Let's do a PSA for. Okay.
Mhm.
So I gotta rebuttal that. I'm sorry. Like it's not intentional, but sometimes if I'm being transparent, I will hyperfixate on things that I think I need or I want, and I gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it, and I'll go get it. But when I get it, like it's like the dopamine just kind of fizzled out, and so it's like, okay, now what?
Why did
Like
I buy
why?
this?
But it's weird because I buy it because I think I want it, or I already got a whole list of stuff I'm gonna do with it. Then when I get it home and I take it out the box, if it gets taken out the box, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna use that, and he'd be like, well, why don't you just sell it or take it back? And it was like, no, I got something planned for it, like But he was like, you ain't been using it, but it's pending. You know what I mean? Like it's not, and yeah, that's one of them things where it's like it's not intentional, but it's like, I do that. Guilty. That's just
Excuse me.
that's a part of my divergency. That's yeah.
What else you got? What else?
So what is one thing that your partner does that make you feel emotionally safe? That's a, that's
Mm,
that's a deep one.
that is a deep one. That's wow.
Um,
We gonna let the men
why
answer this
don't
one
y'all do
first.
it? Come on,
Mm.
girl, don't have me crying up in here.
What do you do to make me feel emotionally safe?
Cause I like that's a good question, ladies. Say
Mm.
Um, She asked me about my mental health.
Hmm.
I ain't never had that before, ever. But she, some just out the blue. How are you doing? What's going on in your head? Is there anything you need to talk about? Stuff like
You're gonna make me cry. Oh,
Oh,
cry.
that. All right.
oh. Look, you starting to get all emotional like when Riri got up there on you and gave you some loving.
Let's not stop bringing up the past. Okay.
Mhm.
That's heavy. That's really
All right.
heavy. Cause
Yeah.
I didn't realize that meant a lot to him, but it's important for me to make sure he's straight because he always trying to make sure the family is good. So
Hmm.
if his mind is not good, he can't do what he need to do. And I don't ever want him to feel like he's
Amen.
alone, like, and he can't come talk to me because there's been times in our relationship where he felt like that. I wasn't open for him to be vulnerable with me. And so I like to check in and, make sure he's good. And if I need to do anything or if I need to be quiet, tone it down a little bit. So, wow. That's sweet, baby. That's sweet.
That
Oh.
what I gotta say, Mr. Jackson,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
Uh, that right there that played a really
Yeah.
big part. You know what I mean, and I honestly I felt you. I understood that wholeheartedly because it is
Yeah.
important. Um, so what my baby does to keep me make me feel emotionally safe. As much as I say I don't like it at times, it is the fact that she's willing to give me the time. And it might be a busy day, but the things that she do to make me feel emotionally safe is just, hey babe, how you doing? Just giving me time. Because I've always felt like if I'm trying to do something, then time always plays a factor. So for me, emotionally safe, if I feel like I'm in a good place and I don't have to leave, I'm not worried about the time. Like I'm stuck in this moment. That's my emotional connection. And that's what she gives me. So thank you.
I'm a little confused about what you mean.
So if I'm having a bad day, if I'm going through the motions, when you come around me, hey babe, how you doing? Give me a hug. At that moment, I can let go of my fears. I can let go of the anger, the hurt, the pressures, and be focused so much on that moment. So emotionally, my whole body feels amazing. I am safe
Hmm.
because every man, just like every woman, you have to feel safe. My job to make you feel safe might make me feel uncomfortable at times.
Yeah. We have a comment from Roddy. Hey, Roddy. Emotional intelligence and vulnerability. That's what I'm talking
Absolutely.
about. That's what he said.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
important, for relationships. And it takes a little bit to get to that place, you know. Um,
yeah.
It does. It does.
But I mean, that's also something that, once again, most men, no matter how we look at it, are taught. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Don't say
yeah.
nothing. You know what I mean? You can cry, but it has to be under certain circumstances. Otherwise, you're gonna look like this, or nobody seems to truly care about how you are doing inside, as long as you provide. And that's the part that hurts. So if I'm making you feel safe, but I'm uncomfortable, am I
Yeah.
doing my job?
No. Yeah. You're right.
So
You are right. So for me, I would say how you make me feel emotionally safe. I would say for women, I think that's a double edged sword because I feel like for a women to be emotionally safe, really, at least for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but comes into the fact of feeling physically safe. Because if I don't feel safe physically, I'm definitely not going to feel safe emotionally. And I say that too because I even told him, I said, there was a moment we were somewhere and he heard something. He immediately got up, got his mini me, and walked outside. Like he just got up instinctively, got his stuff together, and went to make sure everything was good. And I was like, we don't I don't know what could have been out there, and he just literally got up instinctively to go make sure it's secure outside. That for me was like I thanked him for that because it was like I have never experienced that. So that made me feel emotionally safe in a sense too, because it's like if you're willing to put your life on the line for me on that aspect, then I know that I can be emotionally safe with him. And I know I can be overly emotional sometimes, and it can be rough, and he deals with it. Yeah, sometimes he tells me I'm doing too much. He tries to help me bring me back down because I'll take something and exacerbate it than more than what it was, and
Boom.
he helps bring me back down to earth. But at the same time, he's still willing to sit there and just listen to me, even if it may not make sense to him in his mind, because I'm thinking on so many levels.
I'm
Whatever.
just
So you took a whole moment and just completely.
no, I'm just playing.
Oh, we have a question
I
from
appreciate it.
Roddy.
Hold on, I saw the comments.
Hold on, Tia got an answer.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We definitely need to answer that as soon as Mr. Jackson get back. I need to check something real quick because my
Okay.
computer pooting again. So give me 1 second.
We're gonna come back to you, Roddy. We definitely will.
Mm,
So don't go anywheres.
yeah, this has been cool. Enjoying it. Mm-hmm.
He's wait. He said he's waiting like he online on layaway at the PX.
Man, not at the BX. Man, I forgot about them lines too. Ooh, you gotta wait. Everybody trying to get their stuff before Christmas. Layaway line, come on, hurry up. How much you gonna put on it this day? I got $30. It's still 330. I know I got 30 right now. Leave me alone. I'll be back next week. Oh man. Too funny. Ooh-wee.
Hold on, it's almost done pooting.
No,
Okay, wait, it's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you. I
because that
see
way
it now.
we can turn off these lights and just have that light, and then we'll have the lights on back
So
here,
you want me to
either
do some
behind the
light
couch.
changes? I can turn mine off. Ding 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 ding. Ding.
No, 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 no. I
We
was
ain't
saying
talking about you. We
we're
talking
talking
about
about
for our
I
stuff.
forgot
we
to
need
turn the
some.
Ain't
lights
got
on
nothing to do with
earlier.
you.
But real quick, uh first of all, shout out Roddy. I appreciate you letting me know that, because the thing about Twitch is you got to change your title every time you go before you go live, and it still was set on the last live I did, so I had to change it to just chatting so more people can find our conversation.
Oh, maybe I didn't do that on mine either.
So
Ooh.
so that's gonna be
See, so
the
I
question
gotta change
again.
the
But
what?
one thing I want to say about the fact of him making me feel emotionally safe. Is that what the question was? Like, what does he do to make me feel emotionally safe?
Yep.
Um, it may be weird, but for me, it's the opposite. It's not necessarily the physical part; it's the mental part that makes me feel safe, because I've been physically safe in prior relationships, but emotionally, I was not, and that meant a lot. It changed the trajectory, and also just the overall vibe of the relationship. So I had a lot of emotional trauma as a kid, and just things that have happened over the years that have left me vulnerable emotionally. And so it is a
Mm-hmm.
huge thing for me. I tell him all the time because he does make me emotionally safe. And to me, I already know he got the physical part and all of that, but that is the most important thing for me, because dealing with abandonment issues
Spot.
and you know, hurts of past relationships and things of that matter. Um, the weirdest place that you can be in, and the most, I'm gonna say silencing, but also like the most vulnerable thing that be is in a place where your spouse does not see you or hear you, and they don't really care
Mm.
about what's going on with you mentally, you know, your past situations. Because a lot of men, they'll be like, I don't want to hear about the past situations, but that has some foundational basis as to what we're trying to do here, right? And so um he really took his time and was patient with me, and he, you know, he nurtured my crazy, you know, because I can kind of be all over the place. And I think that was because, you know, I am trying to balance how I feel emotionally, but also realizing it took me a little bit in our relationship to realize I didn't have to mask with him. And so I can unmask with him. And for people who don't know what that means, is masking is pretty much where I feel like depending on the situation and who I'm around, I have to match people's energy, or I got to match the situation to be more presentable and, you know, suppress how I feel or how I might act or if I might stem a little bit. But with him, I could just be my authentic self. And it's a little kooky, a little goofy, a little, you know, all over the place, but he accepts me as I am. And so he don't make me feel bad for being me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So he always
Okay, that's what's
checks
up.
in with me and asks me, you know, honestly, I'm gonna just be honest, he just listens. Like he listens unapologetically without any judgment, but he still holds me accountable. And I love that. So yeah.
You
Yeah.
gonna talk?
What you think,
You got
Riri?
something to say? You
You
got something
agree?
to say? You licking it? You
You see the dog?
on the mic?
You agree,
Okay.
Riri?
She
She like,
asked
where
you a
TT
question.
at? Where TT? I hear her. Where TT?
Okay. But
See, I'm looking around like, where's she at?
Yeah.
but
So
okay, so
the
we have
question that Roddy asked.
yes. So when question, when you folks have space, men, do you feel like your self worth at times is
Predicated.
predicted predicated? I was right on what you can provide opposed to anything else. Oh wow, that's crazy because he was just asking me about that because it was something that was on social media where the husband asked the wife if if I was broke and couldn't provide or didn't have anything to offer, what what could I do for you? And it's
Hmm.
kind of like that. So yeah, answer that question. It's for you.
Mm. Okay. Read that one more time.
Do you feel like your self worth at times is predicated on what you can provide opposed to anything else?
Mm. Okay. So to answer that question, yes and no. And I say yes because as a man, you feel like you're being judged off what you can provide, no matter what. You're always seems like you're being judged on what you can provide. So, at some point, yeah, I feel like whether I can provide a wonderful life, if she's going to enjoy that, but I may feel like crap. But as long as I can provide, then that's all that matters. Sometimes that's true, but on the flip side of that, I hate the idea that because of what I provide means it depends on how much or how little you can treat me. Like that is truly a messed up idea to know that if I'm providing you with all of this, in your mind, if it's not enough, then you can say I don't do nothing for you. So it takes away all masculinity. It basically makes you feel like you have to achieve so much more in order to be this person, that this made up figure that society has created for men now. Like you gotta, before I want to say even growing up in the 90s. I want a man that makes six figures and drives this type of car and does this. Meanwhile, all men are looking at this idea as okay, I'm gonna try to get me some money. I'm gonna try to get a nice car. I'm gonna try to get a nice house. And the only reason why we do all of that is to please women. Some take advantage, some don't. Being honest. So
Stop.
with this relationship, I don't feel like it was I've been taken advantage of. I feel like me providing and what she's able to return is, in layman's terms, 50-50. And nowadays, nobody really wants to do 50-50. It's 90-10 or 75-25. So,
I'll be honest though, he did ask that though before we got married. He said, "Are you with me just because of the benefits that I have?" And at the time, he still was in the military. And I told him no. And it was funny though because I proved to him even like last year I hadn't taken advantage of using his medical benefits until last year when I had my surgery. I was like, babe, we've been together for almost 4 years, and this is the first time I'm using your medicals. That should show you I'm not with you just for your benefits. I'm not with you for what you can use. Like, I mean, because he does have he came with a great package. You know what I mean? He did. He had a house. You know, he has a pension. You know,
You know that equates to like you look good on paper, there, bruh.
yes.
but that's it.
But I
It's
mean,
just on paper.
but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying though. But I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't even thinking in that aspect because honestly, when we had made it official, we didn't know the status of if he was going to stay in the military. Like we were engaged, but we didn't know if they were going to allow him to stay in. We didn't know if his medical stuff was going to go through and they were going to allow him to retire and all that stuff. So it couldn't have been on that because it's like if they say no, they say no. I'm deuces, you know that yeah, great. He looks great on paper, but I love him for who he is. If you strip that all away tomorrow, yeah, it's gonna suck because it's gonna change a lot of things, but it's still not gonna take away from me wanting to be with him. That's just gonna mean we just gonna have to really put our relationship to the test.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, thank you.
mm. Oh, what is what?
Don't do that.
No, she getting some out his eye.
Man, you know that's love when you can dig in eye boogers now. Oh, wait.
You
You
already know.
you know that's love when, hey, baby, come here. Let me get that out your eye.
I'm gonna
That
tell you.
That's almost like, hold on. That's almost like grandmama doing this. Come here, baby.
Yeah, I just did that. He the only person I let like I'll drink after like no amoebas. Like I. Mm-mm.
But yeah,
But I
what
mean
about
that's
you,
real
Marcus?
talk though. That's real talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about you, Mr. Jackson?
Um, I don't really. Let me see. So I look at it like this: as far as self worth goes, I'm whoever came up with the saying "happy wife, happy life." That's bullshit.
It's happy house, happy spouse.
Happy couple, no trouble.
That works too.
That
Bang
means
bang.
we both need to feel,
Validated.
yeah. So
But do you feel like your self worth is you
Questioned at times.
like do you feel like you have to give a certain amount, do a certain amount, provide a certain amount in order to feel worthy of my love or my
uh,
adoration or just acceptance as a whole?
yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. Um, Even if when we try to go above and beyond, um, sometimes we don't always get it right. But me putting forth the effort, depending on how it's received, depends on how I act. down the road. How I put forth effort for things down the road.
Hmm.
Now, in any relationship, as far as I know, it's a growing. It's time will tell, and a lot of times it'll tell you some shit you don't want to hear. But
Hmm.
once you done got to a certain level of I love you, you love me. If we end it together, we can
You
get
don't feel
through
that
anything
pressure.
together.
Hmm.
So that pressure of having to do this, having to do that, is not as strong as it would be, say, in the first 2 3 years of
Hmm.
official relationship.
And yeah, I think you got to figure out who you're with, right? So everybody has expectations. Sometimes, um, you know, you a man might end up with a woman who is very materialistic. You know, you couple that with someone who is never satisfied, now you got a problem on your hands because it's like you're having to buy her affection because that's the energy she's giving you. But at the same time, it seems like she's never satisfied. And so you feel like I'm trying to appease what I think she likes or what she wants by providing her with the latest jewelry and getting her this and this and that. When in all
Hmm.
reality, that's not what sustains relationships. And in honesty, I blame that on social media a lot because people show you the side that they want you to see. And unfortunately, a lot of times when it comes to relationships and marriages, people will show you the glitz, the glam, all of the lovey dovey stuff. They'll post like what they spouse done bought them. Now you have people inherently competing, like women, like, oh, you don't buy me nothing. Why you ain't saying nothing on my job? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's not even what we do. So why you worried about what she getting on the internet when that ain't our day to day? Um, but I think it really boils down to who's your spouse. This computer is smart.
Okay. So, if y'all don't mind, I got a question for the women. What do y'all think about the average, or I ain't even gonna say the average. What do y'all think about the stereotype now to where you have to pay, uh, or women are expecting men to pay $200-300 for the first date, go to expensive places? Like, what do y'all think that?
I think that is some malarkey. That is a bunch of malarkey. Okay. First of all, first
He
of all,
said, wait, he
Malarkey.
said, shout out to Judge Judy.
actually, I didn't know that was Judge Judy's word. I got that from my friend Crystal because that's what she says because she tries not to
Judge Judy
cuss.
do be
So she
saying that though. That's a bunch of malarkey.
oh
Well,
wow.
go
Well,
ahead.
I say I don't agree with it. I've never been one of those women like on the first of all, on the first date, I don't want you to take me to the top because then I'm expect you to keep it there all the time. And then when you take me to somewhere that's like, oh, we just gonna go in to a picnic, then I'm gonna feel some kind of way because it's like, but you was here, now we here, not on the first date. Like there's steps. It's just like you gotta crawl before you walk. When
It's
you don't just go you don't go from level 0 to level 5 without and skip all the
mhm.
steps. Like you have to I have to get to know you first. You have to get to know me. And
Why you gonna spend all
I've
that money?
never been one of those how yeah, I don't why you spend all that money because first of all, you might the date might go horrible. And then now you out all this money
You
and
don't even like
then most right, he might not like her, and then on top of that, then sometimes I feel like on the back end, sometimes I feel like if a man does take a woman there, he's expecting something in return. So there's like a double edged sword with that. But at the same time, as a woman, I don't understand why women feel like they are owed that. Like I'm a wife. That's wife stuff. That's something you when you put in the work. That's those kind of restaurants you get to go to. You know, at least for me, that's how I feel. Like I don't feel like as girlfriend boyfriend y'all should be focusing on building together first. Let's build a strong foundation. Let's figure out where we're going first, and then if we go there, then we can get there. But that shouldn't be the first expectation. And I was mad when I saw a girl say the Cheesecake Factory is a cheap date. Where is in the world is Cheesecake Factory a cheap date? Because we can't go to Cheesecake Factory and not spend
Girl,
$100.
whoever took her out should have took her to McDonald's and let her supersize it because that's about as far as it was gonna go.
But people did used to tell people that we can go to McDonald's and Super. That ain't good enough.
Hey,
But
take me to
see, it's
So
McDonald's.
like
just saying. But
it's a combination of things because I like I said I think that people have this women in general have this perception and I blame it on the fact that these so on one hand, you might have a woman who's had her father in her life, and he told her a man is supposed to treat you with respect and as a princess and all of that other stuff, right? But on the other hand, I feel
mhm.
like a lot of women are raising women and they are trying to take the role of a man and telling them what their daughter should have when they didn't have the same thing. And they telling him, I telling their child, you need to make him do X, Y, and Z when it's not realistic and nobody wants to say the thing that makes the thing. They don't want to say that, no, that's not how that works. Because historically, if you look at the culture, dating in itself, it has not, that was a big thing like in the 40s and the 50s. They would go on actual dates. It would be one date, two date, three date. Now everybody busting it wide open the first date. They thinking, okay, it's on both sides. But I don't think that me personally, if you go on a first date with somebody, you don't even know if you like them like that. So why you gonna blow the bank on them like that? But I think it's because people try so hard to get somebody to like them. They want them to want to get to know them more. They want to, you know what I mean? Like create that. What is that like that je ne sais quoi? Like they like, oh, I can
That
blow the
first
bag on you
impression.
if I
Yeah,
wanted to, right? I could do this for you if
If
I
if
wanted to. But
it's
in
not,
all
if that first
actuality,
but
you're
impression.
gonna get the type of woman that you think you're getting. Like there's
yeah,
nothing
that
wrong
she gonna
with
want
you
that.
wanting to go to a nice restaurant. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to go have a nice first date. But I think where the line is crossed is where you get disrespectful, where you get ungrateful, and you start expecting things that are at the level of a relationship. We just met. This is the first date. Like your expectations need to come down a lot
It's
because
the sense of entitlement that they feel like they're just entitled.
very much so.
So so my question to y'all is this: where do you think those women get that idea from? Because I
TV,
don't think it comes from a man. I'm
Social
being honest.
media, TV,
TV.
I
reality.
really don't think no man has ever sit there and said, you know what, on the first date and every
Well,
other date after that, I want to take you to the most expensive place, unless you balling like that.
that's what I can't say that 100% because there are some men that's just how they do it. But at the same time, too, let's play devil's advocate in favor of the man. Is sometimes I feel bad for men out here that are dating because they feel like they have to do that to keep up and to get their ideal what they think is their ideal woman, you know what I mean, or their ideal person. They meet somebody they like, they look nice, they bond from head to toe, they decked out in all the name brands, they got their hair, their nails, and they just look fly. They get out of a car that is like really nice. Okay, that means I gotta keep up with that same attitude because I can't come to her half stepping. I gotta you
It's
know
the competition thing. It's like
yeah,
if I
that's what I'm
don't
saying,
come
like
correct, then I might
right,
lose out. But
right,
guys, there are
yeah,
really good
yes,
women out here that's
yeah.
not like trying to take all your money. There are, and it's sad because it dilutes the dating pool. Like me and him talk about that all the time. Oh, I'm so glad we ain't dating. Like we ain't out here in the dating pool because
Me
it's,
too.
you
No,
know,
yeah.
um, I really, I agree. I feel like it's when you come to a level of understanding, a lot of people will say, and I've heard it on both sides, especially like women get mad when you when you taking up for the men, like you're supposed to be on our side, but baby girl, coming as a mature woman, you gotta call a spade a spade. If you
Right.
know you in the wrong, why would you sit and validate your friend? Like you got a homegirl, you know for a fact that she is ungrateful, she's rude, but she studied talking about like I'm a baddie, I deserve this and this and that. I'm supposed to have the men and that. And I'm seeing a female say, "Why come all the plain Janes get all the good men?" First of all, you got to learn what a man really likes and what he wants. He wants to be respected. He wants to feel valued. I ain't talking about just monetarily. He wants to feel intrinsically valued. He wants to feel like, at the end of the day, you see him and not what he can do for you. So there's so many women that's wrapped up in what can you do for me? What can you do for if you got kids? What can you do for my kids? That's your baby daddy's job.
Yeah.
But
Not
that's a
my
whole nother subject. We ain't
responsibility.
ready for that.
Right. And that's
Let's say
and I can definitely speak on that because coming into a marriage when I already had 3 kids, I never ever expected him to do for my kids because they have a dad that does for them. But he decides to do stuff. It's never been an expectation ever for anybody outside of their dad to do for them because that's not their responsibility. Now, I don't see why women feel like, oh, you dating me now, you dating my kids. No,
Because if
that
I break up with you, the kid is broken up with too. Sorry. I'm so
oh my
sorry.
god,
he say chuck the deuces to everybody, all of
yeah.
Yeah.
y'all.
If I
Cut
break
off,
up with you, I
cut off.
broke up with your whole family.
But like I will say, like as me raising, I have 2 daughters and I have a son that they're adults, but they're young adults and they're very impressionable. But I will say for sure, my youngest, she's very secure in who she is and what she wants, and she already has that mindset. Like she don't want somebody to spend all their money on her like that. Like she has her own. And if she wants to go to a nice restaurant, she'll take herself, she'll go half. Like she's secure in that, you know what I mean? And I love that for her because I feel like a lot of the girls in this generation, they don't have that same mindset. They feel like they don't have to do anything and they expect everything. You know what I mean? They don't.
Side of that, just to kind of chime in with what you said, like there's nothing wrong with being an independent woman and being able to pay for your things. There's a very fine line though when you make a man feel like he's not needed.
Well, yeah,
So
That's it. That is
you can pay for
that is
everything, you can
but
buy
no,
all that you
yeah,
need.
but what
They
I'm
need
saying is like
to have value.
her mentality is like she doesn't want to do the expensive restaurants. She rather take that and maybe let's take that $300 we're gonna spend on a restaurant. Let's go on a vacation or let's do multiple dates instead of just one date and then that's it. You know what I mean? I rather it. You know, if you're going to spend that kind of money, I rather it be something that's a little bit more valuable than just like going in like that. So that's what I'm saying is like, but I'm saying like she doesn't feel like a man should have to be the only one to put their money out there. She don't mind, if she has to, go on, she want to go on a date. I got you this time. There's not many young. I mean, she's 19. There's not many 19-year-olds that think like that. You know what I mean? That at that age, you know what I mean? And like we go half. There's been times we go half. Hey, you got this. I got the tip. You know what I mean? There's nothing saying that he needs to pay all the time. Even now, even as we're married, there's nothing
Mhm.
to say he has to pay all the time. There's times where I say, okay, I got this. I got this.
It's
And
just a
he's like, you sure?
partnership.
You sure? Yeah, I got it. I got it. Like you get it all the time. Like let me.
Yeah, it's a partnership. You know.
and that's just it. For most men, we don't really understand that concept of it being a partnership. We're once again provide, protect, and what can you help with? It's never to think that somebody else is actually going to help with you.
You
But when you
provide
find
for
somebody to help, it kind of throws you off. You're like, what? You got it. Wait a
Yeah,
minute. You
yeah.
sure?
You all right over there, Mr. Jackson? What you thinking about? You
I'm I'm just going along with the flow of the track.
hey, hey, real talk. I gotta tell y'all this story real quick. So
Raph.
our very first Valentine's Day together, like we were young, uh, but he was used to like doing everything for Valentine's Day. The man's supposed to do this, and that. But I had a whole different idea, and I wanted to do some nice things for him. So I had put together some nice things for him and surprised him. The look on his face, I mean, I could have won the lottery, because baby, he was like, what's all of this? Like, he was waiting, like, what's the gag? Like, what? Because he
Mhm.
wasn't used to that. And it took me years of kind of like reaffirming that for him to really just kind of embrace it. Because there was some
Mhm.
resistance in the beginning. No, oh no,
Right.
but I really wanted him to understand that Valentine's Day ain't just about me.
I would say
It's about,
romance, and I say that's with romance in general. Romance ain't just for the
yeah,
woman; it's
absolutely.
for
But
it's for
but
men
a
too.
day, that has been mainly made about women.
Yeah,
It was important to let him know that no, it's about the man too. And so that kind of flows over into other things. But if you have that mentality that you're in a partnership, it's not just about you
Mhm.
all the time. It's about your partner as well. And sometimes you got to say no to you and yes to them, uh, in ways that you want them to, but also to validate, because again, men and women need different things.
right, right.
Mm.
So
Okay, we're gonna do something fun real quick before we close it out. Because we're gonna save our next topic for next time. But we want to do a real quick game, and it's called "Who's More Likely to."
Okay.
Okay, so it's basically it's three questions, and we're just gonna point to, and if you are that person, then you raise your hand. If you agree that the person is the other person, you point to them, and if you are that person, then you raise your hand. We'll
Mhm.
see who does. All right, who's more likely to forget a special date?
you ain't gonna point at nothing.
Hey, no shame in it, bruh. Point, because she ain't gonna have no shame in pointing at you.
Exactly.
Point. Wish I had like a long thing on the screen and have an arrow pointing like right here, real big.
Whatever. Who plans date nights? What do you think I do? I thought we both do. I think that's something we both do.
You plan
Okay,
a
so
lot of the activities that
okay,
turn into date nights.
okay.
You
So
got an
Okay.
agenda.
yeah, there are activities that turn into date night. Well, let's go to the park. We go to the park. Well, we might as well get something to eat. It turns into a whole date.
All right.
That's creative.
Who apologizes first? Y'all pointing at each other.
Um, it depends on the situation.
And see,
It
I'm
depends
with
on
you
the
there, but
situation.
I'm with you there.
So it's
Most of the
usually
time
like
it's him. Cause I
really.
be in my feelings. Like I be like, no, I don't want to talk about it. No, no, no. He
Well,
apologized.
I'll say this. She'll apologize so we don't continue arguing. All right, fine. I'm sorry. Shut up.
I don't say it
You know
like that.
what?
I
And
know, but in a way that's what I.
that's
All right, I'm
hilarious.
fine. Sorry. Shut up. But
So
she
he
don't say that.
apologizes. You want something from the stove? That's how he apologizes.
That's your love language. Look, if I'm talking
Yeah,
to you,
yeah.
I'm not mad no more.
Look, yeah, you hungry? Like if he asked me them questions, he ain't mad no more. You know.
That's it. Like I can be mad at her for over 24 hours. But as soon as I say, you know what? Hey, how's your morning? Did you sleep well? I'm talking to you. I'm not mad no more. I don't care. Like it's finally gone. But she has a hard time understanding. You ain't talked to me this long. I'm sorry. I was processing. But as soon as I talk to you, it's over.
You had to
So
restart,
so
reboot.
Thank
I
you.
got I got one on top of my head. I thought of like who has the worst temper?
Hmm. Ooh. Wait. Huh?
Who
Who
has
got
the
the
worst
worst?
temper
That's me.
between the two of you? Who has the worst?
That's me. See, when you say that, like he's a person that doesn't get mad often, but when he gets upset, he's there,
That's what I'm
right?
talking about. That's what I'm
But
saying. No matter how
but
often, it's
but me,
who's the worst, whose temper is the worst when it gets to that point. Like
oh
who's
yeah,
is the worst?
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I
him.
shouldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's like a volcano. Like he ain't gonna really erupt.
yeah.
But when he does erupt, it's
You know how like Kendrick was like, sometimes you gotta pop off and show them. You know what I'm talking about? Like that part, that's me. You know what I'm talking about? Like I pop off a little bit more, but when he pop off, he be like, "Say Drake." You know what I'm saying? That's him all day. Like
Oh my
I
goodness!
gotta, you know, I gotta lean
Nice with the
all the way
Kendrick.
back. You understand? I
Nice
have
with
to
the
wait
Kendrick.
till you calm down. So yeah.
anybody got any more likely twos? We're gonna tie this up in like
Oh,
20 minutes.
All right.
um, and anybody in the chat, if y'all got any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. We are here. If you want a male perspective, you want a female perspective, but I'm going to say we're gonna give you an honest answer. We're gonna give you as honest as we
No,
can.
no, we're not. No, we're not. We're going to talk.
Like,
Eh, we're going to talk about China. Talk about China.
very good, very good. Um, I would say oh, who's the first one to overreact? Yeah, all day.
Okay, who's the one to say I'm fine but mean the opposite? Y'all
Well, you
both.
know what? That is true. That is
I
that
can't
is.
see your finger. That's you.
And why y'all do that though? Like you do that too,
Well,
Roddy? Yeah, I think it's a man thing because like we know we clearly, especially if we in sync, we can clearly see something is wrong with you, but yet you keep saying I'm fine, I'm good, I'm all right.
Oh,
If you would listen to my words, what
mm,
did I? I'm
mm.
fine. So if you come back to me 10 minutes later, baby, what's wrong? What did I say?
But you say that and you don't mean that.
You heard the man say, when I start talking to you again, then I'm over it. Just let me get through it. Let me get through it. If
I
I
be
say I'm
like,
that's a
fine,
real.
that means we gonna take a brief interlude, and I'll get back to you at our regular scheduled program. But
Let me
until then,
tell you
that
how to get
that
to.
works with neurotypical people, but
Mm.
but who he married to, yeah, it don't work out like that all the time. Cause
I forgot that's hydraulic fluid and
yeah,
JP8.
I got all of that, JP8, all of that. Because for like for me, I I internalize it because now I know it's a problem. We that in sync where I know it's a problem. It's been a couple times I went in the bathroom, looked in the mirror, like, bitch, what did you say? What did you say to him? Is it you? You got to pop off on somebody? Like, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? It's like that type of situation. You
Yeah.
know, do I got to check somebody? Just let me know what type of energy I need to be on. Because if it's me, you know,
Last time I checked, you really ain't gonna pop off and show yourself.
I have.
Oh, okay.
You in the mirror cussing yourself out.
Like, just like, honestly,
Okay.
it
What
really do
about
be the Addie show. Like, if you only knew, like, I mean, it can go there. It
But
can go there because like I really I take it personally when he's upset because he's a very patient person. So he don't get upset as much. Like he's not highly emotional like I am. So when he's upset, I take notice and I want to fix it. Like, what can I do to make it easier?
uh, 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 uh.
Yeah,
What do y'all say all the time?
I don't need you to
mm.
I
fix it.
don't
I
want
just
you to
want you to
fix it. I
listen.
just want you to listen.
Aha.
Listen,
Aha.
okay, I'm fine. Just let it go. When I come around to speaking about whatever it was, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I ain't gonna lie. Depending on the mood I'm in, I'll be like, I don't even want to hear about it no more.
okay?
I learned a
Let's.
long time ago. It's hard to have an argument by yourself,
That's true.
but
Unless you me.
a lot of people get in front of a mirror and they have a whole damn conversation.
I mean, if you're gonna talk about yourself,
That's
I figure
funny.
you might as well see
But
yourself if you talking about it.
Yeah. What
but
about
if after that conversation you have a better understanding about you, then hey, go ahead, go ahead, go knock yourself out.
I think we can kind of like we got a few pieces of convo because like we are at an hour and 45. We could probably stretch it to 2 hours. Just go and
yeah,
do
that's what
that.
I was gonna say. We can stretch it until 2 hours, just finish it out. Okay, so another question, another one is who says what do you want to eat but reject all, like when you someone says what do you want to eat but then all the suggestions are rejected.
I think that's a lot of women. Like no cap, that's a lot of women.
Okay, I know. I already know. Okay, okay,
I
okay,
was really scratching my neck.
okay,
Roger say
okay.
so painful, so painful.
So, okay, what about let's go to bed early? Planning to go to bed early, but then you scrolling on your phone. That's you, Marcus?
Yeah, I got to shoot some people before I go to sleep. I got
Mr.
to
Jackson.
do
What you
some
looking at me
racing.
for?
Cause you
It's
want me
okay.
to, I'm
Look,
supposed
look,
to
she
point,
got
right?
it.
Yeah, I
I
did.
didn't
Look,
point. I just looked.
You supposed to
no, it's
point. Not
good. She call you Marcus.
I ain't tripping.
Look, you want me to
Yeah,
point?
I ain't tripping.
my,
everybody know it's good.
You want me to point?
whatever. Okay, order person orders the food, but the other person eats off the other person's plate instead of their own food.
I can see you. I can see you. Okay, so look, the way my stomach's set up,
What is it about our plates that is
Oh,
so
yours look good. It's the
no?
same thing.
It got the same damn thing.
they just put it on your presentation on your plate be better than mine. Like,
If I said let's switch plates, you still want that one.
what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. I mean, you know, love is life and life is giving
See, that's
every morsel.
no that. So my wife is a friends guru. So in the words of Joey,
Don't
uh,
touch
uh,
my food.
don't touch it. If they put my plate and your plate in the same area, don't reach to mine. Just take yours. If you want some, ask me, and I will. Here, take some. But don't just. Oh, that look good. Nah, nah.
He
You'll
be telling
loosen
me
up.
that all the time. But we done perfected it though, or at least I have, because now I don't order the same thing he order. I order the opposite. So like, especially if it's something that I know I want to taste, then I order something else, and so I can have both.
Oh my!
It's the
Oh,
method to the madness.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I guess you just got to embrace it.
After a while, you just the wires start to because for a little while she was on the left, I was on the right, but then after a while, we started to coexist a little more with each other. And when
Now
it
he
comes
eat
to
on my
food,
plate.
when it
We
comes to
sure.
food,
We sure.
we
so
share more, way more now
Okay.
than you.
Okay.
okay. One more, last one. Who takes the longest to get ready?
Oh my God, that's
I got eye issues. I can't see half the stuff I'm trying to look for. So case closed.
Both
Next.
my all
and
four
you
of my eyes
and that
work,
is a
but
very good that he is granted his time.
not me, because all four of my eyes work, and I just have time blindness. You gotta lie to me and tell me that the time is sooner than what it really is to
Mm-mm.
get me. Cause for whatever reason, my brain like, no, it ain't time yet.
So we need to go back in the day. You're gonna have to start setting clocks at different times. Well, when I go in here, I'm on time.
I be getting mad because he be fully dressed. Like
If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
All right. When we get ready to travel, don't be late.
Oh wait.
Please don't
I can't
be.
even like traveling with him.
I'm early everywhere I go.
Good.
Like here's the thing. What's weird is a lot of y'all can identify with that. But when I was in the military, I had structure. I had routine. I had order, like structured order. So I function very well with that because I knew where I was supposed to be, what time I was supposed to be there. But ever since I got out the military, I don't have that same structure as I used to, and
Mm.
I have struggled. Like I have blindness so bad, and it's not intentional. I try to do stuff to mitigate it, but it is there, and I'm being transparent and acknowledging it. But
Is
I
the
have
fact
this.
that when you was in the military, or when you was in the military, that everything had to be done. Otherwise, you was gonna get punished for it.
Yeah,
You ain't got nobody to actually punish you. Like, what's the worst that can happen now? They can't take your check. They can't tell you you got extra duty.
like who gonna check me, boo?
I can lock your ass in the closet. That's what I can do.
Yeah. As long as I got zuzus and wham whams, I'm good.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna leave you in there. I'm gonna
Give
make
me
sure
some
you're good.
snacks, uh,
Go in there and get you a blanket in the cover, Zuzu's hand, and
y'all ought to
when
hear
I
how
get
he be
back,
talking to me. Like it just be like, "You're calm now. You
I
get." I got this thing when I'm not sleepy, or when I'm matter of fact when I'm super 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 sleepy and I'm fighting it, I get real goofy. And he be ready to go to sleep, but I ain't ready to go to sleep because the people in my head they still up partying.
the
So
roommates.
he just let me play it out till I'm tired, and then it start getting slower and slower. And then he's like, "You done?
like she got a shot.
You got it out?
Don't
Now
feel
lay your
bad.
ass."
I found myself doing that today.
I told you. Today he was just on one this morning. He even said I can't take my medication this early in the morning. But
I just got to talking. Like, I was hearing, I ain't gonna say hearing voices, but I was having a conversation. Like, it was a
Mm.
legit conversation, and I'm just holding it.
Those were the roommates in your head. Yeah.
Well, they was all trying to speak.
I got a question for y'all. What is a piece of advice if you can give somebody, this is gonna be twofold. Somebody who is trying to date, or dating, and
Mhm.
someone who is married that
Mm.
is, maybe they might be having some issues, or they're newlyweds. Like, what advice would you give them if you wanted to give them any advice?
So dating first, and then newlyweds. Go ahead, babe.
I would say for dating, don't rush it. Don't be in a hurry to be in a relationship. Try to be a friend first. Um, that's how we started. We were friends first, and I say that because no matter what, someone's gonna always try to show you their representative up first, only the best representation of themselves, and then if you don't get to know somebody on a friend level, then you might learn later on who they really are, and you be like, I don't want to be with this person,
Hmm.
and then you don't want to think that person is your person, and you marry them, and then it turns into it didn't work out. Not to scare anybody, but people are so rushing to date and get in relationships. It's like, be friends first, be like true friends first, get to know the person, make sure that's the person you really want to be with, and figure out what you really want. You know what I mean? Don't just uh like I said, don't just be in a hurry to get anything.
Mm.
Just no, try to figure out what you want before you snatch on to somebody and it might not be what you want. And then when it comes to newlyweds and being married, remember the person that you're married to is supposed to be your best friend. It's supposed to be your everything. They're supposed to be, they're not your, you're not in competition with them. You're not, you're not their parent. They're not your child. Um, and you have to always remember why you married this person. You made the choice to be with this person. So you have to remember your choice every day and wake up to choose this person. So don't try to think that if it's not going right, you're just going to give up. You know what I mean? Marriage is not about giving up. That's what dating's for. But
Mm.
when you marry somebody, you chose to marry this person, and you chose for better or for worse, through thick and thin,
Mm.
sickness and health. Those vows mean something. They're not just words. And every day is not going to be, rainbows and butterflies, and but also
Mhm.
every day is not going to be hell on earth. You going to go through the struggles, and you're going to go through the happy times. You're going to have to go do the work and go on the up and down roller coaster. That's what marriage is a true roller coaster. But the thing is if you're going through it with the person you're with, you're not alone in it. You know, it might be at times where you just want to 1-800 choked it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we have those moments. But then at the same time, we have to remember why we married that person through it all. And if you hold on to that, you can get through anything. And have fun. We having fun right now. We always have fun. Like I tell him all the time. It's like he's my best friend. He don't really. He's like, I ain't your best friend. Yes, you are. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you are. You are my best friend. And so that's how I look at it.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I really couldn't.
Me
I,
neither.
I really couldn't. I
Yeah,
would only add. I couldn't have said it any better than what she just said. But if I was going to add anything, it would be advice for. I ain't even gonna say advice. Just a little bit of information. So dating for women, don't expect the world. If you're really in it for what you're saying, just to get to know this person, don't expect the world because
Mm-hmm.
that entitlement is a big turnoff. Uh, if you're married, and I know everybody gets married and you think you have the right one and you're doing everything by the book, but at some point you're gonna get tested. And
Yeah.
that biggest test is this: whether or not you can actually maintain the life that y'all have. I.e., if we're having this life and I'm going through hardship, are you willing to be there for me? And if you're going through a hardship, am I going to be there to help you? If nothing else matters, no finances, no materialistic stuff, the end of the day is just me and you. If you are willing to be there, then be there. We shouldn't have to compete. We shouldn't have to argue. We shouldn't have to go through these hard times more than the good ones. We shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I couldn't have said anything better. Golly, get out my head, man. Dang.
Dear, what do you
Like
say?
Uh,
I was saying everything that you were saying.
I concur to everything was said. But fellas, always remember these are emotional creatures.
Mm,
They are
mm,
emotional, and sometimes the emotion, all the understanding goes out the window. So, what you do?
mm.
You lock them in the closet.
Okay, okay. Worst
Zuzu,
case
wham
scenario.
wham, blanket, pillow. Leave them alone.
Oh, there you go.
I'm telling you, it
And by
works.
closet, he's talking about her prayer closet, not a real closet. Like
Yeah, yeah.
we just.
Go to if I can't calm you down, if we can't come to understanding, go to the man upstairs.
Yeah. And he really just kind of leaves it alone. He don't press the issue. He like whenever he leaves the door open for communication. Like whenever you want to talk about it, I'm here, but I'm not gonna force you to talk about it because sometimes that
Mhm.
can be counterintuitive. So he just that when he say lock him in the closet, like don't force a conversation when it's not
Yes,
time.
I'm not. Don't lock nobody nowhere. Okay,
Look, I tried to clear that up because you ain't talking about locking her in
metaphorically.
actual closet, talking about her
Yeah,
prayer closet,
yes,
so she can
metaphorically.
talk
Just
to the
let
Lord.
her let
Yeah,
her get over whatever it is. If we can't come to a reasonable conclusion, then sometimes we have to be separated in order for the conclusion to be met. That's all I'm
yeah,
Hey,
saying.
fact,
amen for that. But there
right.
used to be a song called "They
Trap
Talk
them.
to Themselves" because there is no one to talk to.
That's a throwback for sure. For
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
Um, any advice for? So that was like overall married, dating, whatever.
Yeah, everything that Amber said is pretty
I
much.
agree. There was some clippable moments there.
Man,
Like I don't know, like, and there's so many things that we could. Again, we're gonna delve more into that in future episodes. But I would say on the dating side of things, adjust your expectations. That's the best way I can say that, because a lot of relationships end prematurely because the expectations were not realistic. You know,
Hmm.
you can't expect somebody to meet you where you don't want to show up.
Amen to that.
So,
Amen to
I,
that.
I got one. I got one.
what you got?
Go. Oh, uh-oh. Here we
Uh,
go.
don't 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 get stuck in a. It's got to be this way all the time
Mm.
because things will change.
Mm,
The longer
Yeah.
you together, the more things are going to change, and you got to roll with the punches.
mm-hmm.
Because if you
There you
get
go.
stuck with, well, 10 years ago you was doing this, well, uh, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now we gonna switch it up and do something a little different.
And stop expecting things to get greater in your relationship when you get married, because it doesn't work like that. Whatever vibe you set for your relationship pre-marriage is what's going to carry over. If you don't respect your spouse now, how you expect to respect them when you get married? Like that for whatever reason, whoever came up with that, you know, when we get married, things are going to, no, you got to start putting in the work beforehand. But I would say on both ends of the aspect, respect. If you have a foundation of respect, and you don't hit your spouse below the belt, you don't call them out of their name, you don't put your hands on them, you don't disrespect them to a place to where you can't come back from. Because believe it or not, there are a certain types of disrespect that is hard to come back from, and when you're doing certain things to undermine your partner, like our friends were saying, like you really your partner's supposed to be your best friend. So at the end of the day, if you don't respect them, then what do you have? When you're married, newlyweds, I want you to stop looking at these couples that's been together 15, 20, 25 years and expecting your relationship to be that, your marriage to be that early. Because when you first start out, I what would we say, like the first 5 years is really honeymoon stage, because
Yeah.
you're going to be in a true honeymoon state like the first year, like no arguments, everything is lovely, peachy, no arguments.
It's
When
great.
you get
It's great.
to years 2 to 5, now you're still gonna be in newlywed stage where you really are figuring out each other. Y'all gonna have more arguments than you ever thought you was gonna have. And please don't let it have a baby come into the situation early on, because the most that couples argue about is finances and how to raise children. And so
I
if you
don't
don't
like
have those problems,
that.
you're not gonna have arguments. You're gonna think your relationship is perfect, and when the problems do surface, you're gonna think you made a mistake, and that's not true. So just be patient with each other, respect each other, and time will definitely grow you both if you're willing to grow. Hopefully, y'all did the work before y'all got married, but hey,
But
so
that's true, and you brought up some very valid points. We're definitely gonna have to on our next episode really get more into that.
Hmm.
But a couple of topics that we're going to talk about next time is going to be some parenting, and we're going to get the fathers to talk more about that and their experiences and tips and advice. We have two ends of the spectrum here. We have a father that's still raising kids, and we are raising it, or he's raising adults. So you know, yeah, that's like a
Which is
conundrum there. But
which is
raising
crazy because
adults,
it's like I don't have kids. I have adults.
they're still kids to us, though.
Nah, they're not kids. They're adults.
Okay,
I
tomato,
can't claim
tomato.
you on your taxes. You an adult.
But we thank everybody that tuned in for us. We're trying to get back on with the night talks. We did it. We started
yeah,
it over the summer, and hopefully we can get this rolling. It might not be every Thursday, but we're gonna try to do it at least once a month. We don't want to
absolutely.
put expectations. It might be times where the husbands might not be in it because our husbands love their quiet time and solitude, so we're pulling them away from their solitude to do this.
They're
So
man caves.
It's
yes,
calling right now.
But
Say
we
what?
absolutely. He says calling him
The
right
man
now.
cave is calling me downstairs right
yes.
now.
So we appreciate the men for joining us, but
Yes,
Yeah, my
please.
look, my
Thank
eyes
you
are starting to
guys.
get light again.
And also, we want to give a huge shout out to everybody who has joined us, who engaged in conversation. Big ups to Roddy. Thank you for joining in and asking those wonderful questions. Please,
Yep.
please, y'all lock in with us. If it's something that you saw today that you have questions about, or you want to send us some questions you want us to talk about the next episode, please let us
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yep.
And all of our socials, you can follow us on YouTube, but all of our socials are at our
In our
YouTubes.
bio.
I'll put on in our bio, so I put
Mm-hmm.
those on the screen. And the live will be on both of our YouTubes. Probably by tomorrow morning, the YouTube automatically posts it. So if you want to rewatch this, share it with people. To invite people to come back to join us next time. We're gonna really
Mm-hmm.
add more things to this,
Yep.
so to make this more fun. So
Well, my final words would be live life and smile.
Yeah. So I am Addie Jax, aka the main lady.
Pew
I am
pew.
AKA lock it in the closet.
Pow pow. Pow pow.
and us, the veteran nomads, Amber and D. So, and our little dog Ree. So, yeah.
Read.
Dog Toto too.
But yeah. So thank y'all for joining us, and thank you for tuning in. Hope to see y'all again.
And
And
Martin.
thank you for subscribing.
Peace.
Peace.
Good night. Hold on. Don't